This update has brought us some new features that mostly improve quality of life, but we also have a new submarine, weapon turrets, and game mechanics that change exactly how we progress through the campaign. The first major change we're going to cover is submarine progression. This is a big change to the game and will definitely see you swapping out submarines as you travel deeper into Europa. The Deep Diver class has now been removed and both the Winterhalter and Remora have been reclassified as Scout class ships. Each submarine now has a tier system attached to it which ranges from 1 to 3. What this means is that tier 1 and 2 ships will be limited in how many upgrades they can have, whereas the tier 3 submarines will have the biggest access to upgrades. The submarine's base costs have all been changed to reflect this update with tiers. The upgrade system has also been changed to be in line with tiers. There are now less upgrades with each category to get, however each upgrade provides more value for money. Talking about submarine classes, each one now plays a more important role. This is because each class will add extra bonuses to upgrades, making them better in their respective roles. Each class's bonus is one upgrade extra than the maximum. The Scout class ship gets bonuses to periscope range and movement. The Attack class ships get bonuses to turret reduction for power consumption, periscope range, and low skill usage for turrets. And the Transport ships get bonuses to fabrication and deconstruction speed, as well as fuel consumption reduction. The other bonus thing that has been added to the upgrade system is submarines of the Transport and Scout classes can now have their status monitors upgraded with a mineral scanner. This means the captain or anyone who has access to the sonar monitor can now scout out for potential resources located on the ocean floor or within hidden caves. The final mention for this section is the hydrothermal wastes and end zones have now had their maximum depths reduced to 5,000 meters. So any tier 3 ship with full hull upgrades will be able to survive both the final locations. This brings us on to turrets. These have seen a slight rework and is also in line with submarine progression that has been added into the game. Turret hardpoints have now been split into 2 types, the regular and large. The regular hardpoints will support the coilgun, pulse laser, and chain gun, whereas the new large hardpoints will support the railgun and the 2 new large turret types, the double coilgun and flak cannon. Let's take a look at the double coilgun first. As the name suggests, this fires 2 sets of coilgun ammo in quick succession. The ammunition takes the regular coilgun ammo variants, but fires it at a much faster rate. This means that ammunition will deplete much faster, as well as your supercapacitors. However, you are able to do a lot more damage to targets you hit in a very short period of time. Next, we have the flak cannon. This turret fires a projectile that when hits a target has an initial damage, followed by a spray of shrapnel that can hit additional targets in close proximity. We have the spreader, physicorium, explosive, and focused ammo variants. Looking at the spreader, its initial projectile hits for 70 explosive damage, causes bleeding of strength 20, stuns a target for 4 seconds, and can do structural damage for strength 30. When it hits, it releases 22 flak shrapnel pieces, each of which can do laceration for strength 16, bleeding for strength 6, and can stun a target between 0.2 and 0.8 seconds, meaning we have a damage potential of 70 explosive, 352 laceration, bleeding for 152, stun strength of up to 21.6 seconds, and structural damage for strength 30. Next, we have the physicorium variant, which has 12 shrapnel shards. This has a combined damage potential of 120 explosive damage, laceration for strength 456, bleeding for strength 126, can stun targets for up to 13.6 seconds, and does structural damage for strength 270. Moving on, we have the explosive variant. This does a combined damage potential with its 16 shrapnel pellets for 1078 explosive damage in a radius of 1.75 meters. It causes bleeding for strength 8, can stun targets for up to 16 seconds, and does an amazing 1070 structural damage, making this ammo type the new sub-killer for pirate missions, and on multiplayer PvP. Finally, we have the directional flak cannon. This ammo variant is different as its attack only has 5 shrapnel that it fires out on impact. For the combined damage potential on this one, we have 70 explosive, laceration for 160, bleeding for strength 80, and can stun a target for 36.5 seconds, as well as do structural damage for strength 230. As a note, for all these ammo variants, it is very unlikely that you will hit all shots on one target, so these damage potentials are for when you hit multiple targets together, meaning the flak cannon does better in swarms or on very large targets where all shots hit. Each ammo box contains 100 flak shots, making them the most cost-effective ammo currently in the game. Do note, you can easily hit your own submarine with these ammo types depending on where your shot hits. This is especially dangerous to your submarine with the explosive ammunition variant. As a final note for this section, each vanilla submarine has been modified with the large hardpoints, some of which have up to 3 and others have none. I have a guide talking more about turrets, although it's slightly outdated at this stage. It still, however, gives a good overview of the different turret types and their roles in the game. Links in the video description below. Next, we have a quality of life feature, which I, for one, am super happy about: Draggable UI components. This is a great change as it allows you to pin and move around multiple windows. You can use this on things like the navigation terminal and connected fabricators to storage units, or you can move a single window to any position based on your personal preference. Moving on, we have more in-depth game tutorials, which is a great welcome addition for new players to the game. Beyond using items and basic gameplay, there is now a role-specific tutorial that covers how to play each class in more depth. This provides insight into what is expected of each player's character's role when you jump into a multiplayer session, as well as help out on the single player experience as you rotate between characters. Make sure to give this video a like for helping out new players in the game with this wicked tutorial improvement. Next, I wanted to cover the brand new vanilla submarine that has been added, the Camel. This is a transport class vessel with up to 60 cargo racks, which is on par with the big rig, also at 60. The Camel is a tier 1 submarine, so is limited by its potential upgrades. However, as a starting biome vessel with decent turret coverage and only at 9,900 marks, this might be the perfect starting vessel for those looking to grind out money early on before progressing into other submarine types, or for those interested in speedrunning. Lastly, I'm going to cover some other notable mentions that are included in this update. There are new mining missions that require you to go into the abyss to mine alien resources. You can now use items or weapons while sitting or on ladders, and reactors can now manually be controlled to provide performance boosts to the engines, fabricators, deconstructors, and supercapacitors by overvolting them. Let me know which is your favorite change or addition in this update in the comments section below. That's all for this video. Until next time, peace. A huge thank you to all my supporters, especially my patrons and YouTube members. Gamerman R gets a huge shout out for joining the Masterwork tier program. Thank you.